You guys have done a phenomenal job this weekend. It's really incredible to see this thing come to life like it has. But the Professional Racer Owner Organization, PRO as it's referred to, is a nonprofit that exists in drag racing that was formed many, many moons ago, and it has seen various iterations over the years, but in its current form, the president is Alan Johnson, Top Fuel Alan Johnson, legendary, renowned Nitro crew chief, and the owner of Alan Johnson Performance Engineering, and the vice president is Chad Head, who is the GM at Coletta Motorsports, and collectively, along with about a dozen board members that are the Steve Torrances and Tony Stewarts and Bob Taskas and Robert Heights and so on and so forth, are all part of this group that really, they kind of task themselves with being something of a protector of their two categories specifically. In 2023, we had a cool moment in the sport of drag racing where for the first time, Pro Stock was welcomed into the Pro Racer Owner Organization, and Richard Freeman, owner of Elite Motorsports and one of the most competitive Pro Stock operations in the history of drag racing, joined the fold, and that it gave, I honestly think that Richard Freeman deserves a lot of credit this weekend because he was probably the catalyst, because whenever they brought Richard into Pro, he immediately wanted to take action. They historically have had a lot of meetings, right? Sent a lot of letters, but not really taken matters necessarily into their own hands. So the way this all shook out was on the heels of the 2023 running of the Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod right here at Bradenton Motorsports Park, which of course streamed live on Flow. We were all buzzing, right? There was a lot of optimism, a lot of positivity. That was a massively successful event across the board. Stars were born, a tradition was born here at Bradenton Motorsports Park, and I arrived at the NHRA 4-Wide Nationals in ZMAX, and I get a text message from Richard Freeman, and he says, "Hey, come by my trailer. I got some guys that want to talk to you." And I walk into this lounge, and it's Alan Johnson and Chad Head and Steve Torrance and Bob Tasca and Robert Height and Tony Stewart, and they basically said, "Do you think we could do one of them Pro Mod deals, but for like Nitro and Pro Stock?" And I said, "I'm your Huckleberry," you know? And over the course of the last 9 months, we organized a partnership along with Flow Racing, Bradenton Motorsports Park, our presenting and title rights sponsor, Johnson's Horsepower Garage and Skag Power Equipment. We started all working together, and that's really the genesis of this was really a desire to tear down some of the walls that have existed in drag racing for a long time. I mean, as tight-knit of a community as this is, you'd be blown away by the segregation. There's really no other way to describe it. I mean, I've been blown away personally that many of these Top Fuel and Funny Car teams have never had like meaningful interactions with Pro Stock racers. Many of those teams have raced against one another for decades and don't know each other on a first name basis. And I identified that as what I think was kind of the problem. If there was a problem, we had to break some walls down. We had to get some people talking and recognizing that one of my favorite sayings is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we're trying to go fast, right? But we want to go a long way. And getting these people, my role here is, in my opinion, was to serve as something of a galvanizing force. You know, be the glue guy to get all these big personalities start working together.
And then here we are today.
We're not reinventing the wheel. As you take a look at the rules here, this is pretty much what the competitors are used to running. Of course, the money is a little bit different. We're doing an 8-car field. There is a chip draw that's going to set the fields for eliminations after each round. Of course, the finals will be as the finals will pair out. But it's $250,000 to win in each of the Nitro categories and $125,000 to win in Pro Stock. It's 8-car fields for both of the Nitro categories, 16-car fields for the Pro Stock category. Total prize money of $1.3 million, and we're governing the whole weekend by what they're used to competing at an NHRA rules package. Okay, Jeff.
So we're talking about, Wes kind of led us to, Wes, do you think you can do this? And we could spend an hour talking about what it took logistically to get here today. But along that route, all the things you guys had to do to get here, at some point there had to be some expectations in your mind. Okay, when the day comes, when the weekend comes, we've laid everything out, we've done these track improvements here, we've advertised the thing. You had to have some expectations. What was it going to look like? And if you could see behind us right now, we haven't even fired up the first pair of Pro cars. The stands are almost packed, and you have no idea how many people are walking around in the pits right now. Does this meet the expectations you had?
Absolutely. This is what we came to do. I throw the word barn burner around a lot, but that's what we were here to do. I said we're going to burn this place to the ground in the best possible way, and I knew by my big wedding, small church, we knew what we were doing by coming to Bradenton Motorsports Park. I think some bands sound better in a honky-tonk, and drag racing is that band. God bless all the super facilities we have in our sport. We need those too. But I do think that this type of drag race is really going to be special in an intimate venue like this. So going into it, I knew that I was working with the best companies in the world. Our production team, we partnered with Production Management One out of Orlando to build all these structures, and my internal team at Drag Illustrated came in and did all the decorating and all the branding and activation. And it's just, we knew if we controlled as many aspects of it as we possibly could, and the good Lord would bless us with good weather, I knew that we would have this place.
So it looks first class, but if you have a concert and nobody shows up, it's going to be a disappointment. Not the case.
Not the case. I mean, right now, I don't mean to let the cat out of the bag, but we're moments away from potentially announcing a sellout.
It's bigger than we even thought it could be.
100%.
And the first thing we're going to see is Pro Stock. Again, as we said, it's a 16-car field. They're going to run the full quarter mile, $150,000 to win. 4 qualifying sessions, all NHRA rules and procedures, as we mentioned, going to be used. Wes, we're going to hang on to you just for a second. I got one more question for you before we let you go, but we're going to go right now to Jamie Howe, who's joining our crew this weekend.
Erica Anders, fresh off her 6th Pro Stock Championship, came in here to Bradenton with what started off as a forgettable qualifying experience, but then finally made it to the #1 qualifying spot. But by chance, you get to race one of your teammates, David Quadra, in this first round of eliminations. When you know what each other have, what do you do for the first round?
Man, you kind of just treat it like every other drag race, not to sound cliche, but just worry about our car and our lane. I know what those boys are capable of. They're really mean and hungry behind the wheel, so I just got to go to battle and do work in my race car. So really excited about this event. Like you said, the start of qualifying was not great for us, but to lay down that run last night was really exciting, and to score that 10 grand presented by Lucas Oil is very meaningful to our team. So looking forward to a long race day, and hopefully we turn that first beacon on.
Well, the performance wasn't necessarily there in qualifying. I know that there were lessons that were learned. What do you now have for race day?
I think it's going to be very crucial to keep lane choice. We're going to have to go out there and be conservative enough to get down the racetrack, but fast enough to keep lane choice, because the right lane has proven to be pretty tricky the last couple of days. I know the crew is doing the best that they can to make them equal, but that's going to be key to winning today.
All right, Jamie, thank you. And a reminder, it's $125,000 to win in Pro Stock, not $150,000. I got to ask you before we let you go, Wes, because I know you got a million things to do here today. A lot of people fear, of course, when you announce a bit of a rebel event, that we're going to end up in drag racing like we did in IndyCar with a Champ Car and IRL type situation. What is the future for pros planned going forward? Are they looking to rival NHRA? Are there more events coming? What's the future look like?
I think the future looks bright. First and foremost, Ralph, I think, Jack, I think you guys are feeling it. It goes beyond participation. It's just the energy. I can tell that. I wondered if these guys, I'll be honest, I wondered if they were hungry enough, because this is a tremendous amount of work. It's a huge roll of the dice, and I wondered if they were truly hungry enough, and I think I've learned this weekend that they are. And to answer your question specifically, there's more to come, I will say that, but I really would love to smash the narrative. I'm not anybody who knows me or has ever done business with me or anything like that, I'm not an us versus them type of guy. I believe that we live in an abundant world, and I think a scarcity mindset has really damaged drag racing. There's room for more. The market will speak. And I'll tell you what, our goal here has been to be complementary to the other things that's going on. In the past, historically, when Don Garlitz, an icon, rolled out his version of this in Tulsa in the early 70s, he put it on top of the U.S. Nationals. bold move, and I applaud him for what he was trying to accomplish, but that is never something that we would do. We all love the NHRA. We're massive fans. We support them endlessly. This was an opportunistic move. We had a spot on the schedule. We can make this work. We could serve multiple purposes. With racers, with fans, you've got to tick a lot of boxes. So our guys got to come in, test all week, and I would love to clear the air on one thing. It is eliminations today are winner take all, but all of our qualifiers have been compensated as well. There's a lot of talk about entry fees and all this. But yes, we charged an entry fee. Top Fuel and Funny Car competitors paid $10,000 to enter this race. Pro Stock competitors paid $7,500 to enter this race. But if they qualify, they get $20,000, right? And if they qualify in Pro Stock, they get $15,000. So not only do they get to test for a week at no charge, they did have to pay an entry fee, but they're going to get it back plus more, double what they paid for it. So the people that think that this is a super top heavy and potentially top heavily, so much so it's problematic, I just want you to know no racer was charged to no racer was charged to park a vending trailer. No racer was charged for tickets. We provided every one of these teams with an allotment of VIP tickets to give to their sponsors, and I just want everybody to know that our racers have been adequately compensated this weekend.
That's a win-win.
Yeah, well, they've tried a lot of things here this weekend, and a lot of things have worked. I'm sure some things haven't, but that's the whole plan,
nature
right?
of the
That's
business,
what it's supposed to do.
Fumble forward.
Wes Buck, editor and founder of Drag Illustrated, and a huge part of the reason why we are here this weekend, the Skag Pro Superstar Shootout, presented by Johnson's Horsepower Garage. Wes, thank you for helping to push drag racing forward. Thanks for being here, and thanks for having us a part of it. And hey, now we get to go racing, right? All right, we got Pro Stock getting ready to go in the staging lanes here. And here's a look at the run orders as we get set to move into that first round of eliminations here today. On this Elimination Saturday in Bradenton, we're going to see Troy Coughlin Jr. He's going to have lane choice. Jack going up against Chris McGahey. Camry Caruso's going to square off against Aaron Stanfield. Aaron will have the lane choice. Christian Quadra will be our third pair with Fernando Quadra. Lane choice to Christian. The reigning champ, Erica Enders, will pull into the lane that she chooses versus David Quadra. And Jed Coughlin Jr. and Jerry Tucker, with Jerry Tucker getting lane choice. And then it's Dallas Glenn with lane choice versus Dave Conley. Bo Butner lane choice versus Eric Latino. And then the 5-time champ Greg Anderson will match up against Matt Hartford, with Hartford getting lane choice.
I'm so glad you got to say that. I got Clay Milliken voice. I've been nursing it all weekend long. And, you touched on earlier, it's final eliminations, but it's not Sunday. There's so many things that are different this weekend. It's Saturday eliminations. We're going to lead off the pro eliminations with Pro Stock.
Yeah.
You don't ever do that. Why?
No.
Well, we've got half the field in the Nitro category.
Well, athletes are very much focused on routine.
Repetition.
It's all rinse, wash, repeat, right?
Everything's different here.
And everything here this weekend has been turned upside down. Maybe in a good way, maybe not. We'll find out. We'll see how.
Yeah, so we have an extra round of Pro Stock relative to the Nitro categories, but wait, there's more. You alluded to this. We're going to have dragsters against funny cars in an eliminations format. I don't think they've done this for 24 years. It's not a first, but it's a first in a long time, and I hear engines running right now, Ralph.
We've got race cars. Here we go. Getting ready to go. Troy Coughlin Jr. right there.
All right. Normally we talk about qualifying positions. Lane choice does matter. Left lane is definitely going to be the preferable lane. Oftentimes, Ralph, the Pro Stock cars like a one lane and the Nitro cars like a different lane. There are times that Top Fuel cars prefer one lane, but funny cars prefer another. It has to do with where the rear tires are when the car is launching. It has to do with launch RPM, things like that. I would say probably unilaterally, if you've got lane choice, unless something drastic changes, people are going to favor that left lane. The right lane has got a little bit more in the way of bald spots on the starting line. A Pro Stock car where you're leaving the starting line at 6,500 RPM, that could be exacerbated relative to the Nitro cars.
Here's Chris McGahey, driver out of Odessa, Texas, 44-year-old. Ready to go.
Man, you can't go wrong with yellow and black. You know, my 68 El Camino, when I restored it.
You told me that all weekend long. It's your favorite setup.
Other than having a big old Jag sticker on the side of it, it looks like a Jags ad. It
Well,
is
for the right amount of money, I'm
and
sure
black.
you'd run that too, right?
What are you saying, Ralph?
Saying you're a racer.
Oh, welcome to race day. And the stands continue to fill. There are not many empty seats. All of those are going to be taken by the fans still touring the nitro pits right now. And it is a rewarding experience to see, looking out the window, packed grandstands.
If you haven't parked your car, good luck finding a spot, I can tell you that. Here we go, first pair.
Oh,
Reaction time goes to Troy, but then he has major problems, shuts it down. Chris McGahey's going on to the next round. He runs a 6.635 at 206.830.
Well, lane choice didn't seem to affect that one. Boy, Troy Coughlin's car, I don't know if we'll get to see a replay of that thing. Behind his car, you ought to be able to see chatter marks at some point. Yeah, you can actually see them there. That thing just went out and violently shook the tires. So what happens is the tires will slap the racetrack, air gets underneath them, slap the racetrack again. That car is going to shake violently, and at some point, you can't see. That's a headache and a half for Troy Coughlin. No choice but to abort the run. McGahey goes sailing on down there to round number 2 and a chance to win. $125,000. I am a fan of this drone footage, Ralph. Absolutely sold on the ability to show you at home an angle that is totally cool. Get that drone around to different parts of the facility. You got to see the parking lots getting packed right now, the amount of people in the pits, in the stands, and especially on the racetrack. You just get to see some stuff that's kind of new to the sport.
Camry Caruso and Aaron Stanfield matching up. Here's Camry. Got KB Titan Racing Team, one of the 7 cars over there.
You know, it wasn't that long ago that they were hoping there would be a female that could win a round in Pro Stock. It hadn't happened for 30-something years. Erica kind of blew that stat out of the water. 47 wins and 6 world championships later. But now we got another female that's not just competitive, she's a race winner.
Yep, and that would be Camry Caruso right there. Aaron Stanfield in the JHG entry. Closest to us, here we go. Reaction time goes to Stanfield. And at the far end, he's going to get the win light too, with a 6.877, 208.1 miles an hour.
We've had 2 pairs. We've had 2 cars that have shook the tires. One in the left lane, one in the right lane. What you don't want to see out there as a fan, as an announcer, a 1-lane racetrack. I like that both lanes are able to dish out good ETs, but both lanes have that little bit of element of on the knife's edge there, where if they push too hard, you can shake the tires, and then eventually it's going to spin. And wow, am I seeing double here? Right?
Here is Jack Beckman's favorite pair of cars for the weekend, a pair of yellow and black Quadras coming out, Christian and Fernando.
Ralph, I always say I never bet on drag racing, but if I had to bet, I'm going to bet on
yellow
that
and black car.
Yellow and black car with Quadra driving it,
Yeah.
right? Interesting thing is, one's a Camaro and one's not, huh?
Yeah, one's a Ford.
How about that? You know, pretty much right now, the standard in Pro Stock competition is that engine based on the architecture of the General Motors power plant here. And you're allowed to put it in any body style. You could put a Dodge Hemi in a Camaro. You put a Chevy engine in a Ford Mustang if you want to. But I think what we're seeing here, I believe the Quadras are all running Iaconio power plants. And if I'm misspeaking, I apologize. But we got several engine building teams represented out here. I wonder if there's any side bet between the brothers here.
I don't know. That's Christian right there with a little bit more orange in his yellow. And Fernando on the other side.
Yeah, and lane choice went to the left-hand lane. I don't suspect that's going to change. Now, if you saw 3 cars in a row in the left lane go out there and spin the tires, and you're the crew chief on that next car in line, you might think about swapping lanes. But typically by now, they've picked their lane, they've adjusted their tune-up to that lane, and they're pretty well married to it unless something drastic happens on the racetrack.
Pair of Corral-sponsored handcrafted boot entries here, ready to go. Fernando versus Christian. Quadras at the lights.
That's Dos Quadros. Quadras. Oh boy.
Ooh. Fernando gets the jump. .063. Who's going to get at the far end? give the win light to Christian Quadra with a 6.591, 210.570.
Yeah, Fernando's car looked like it kind of lurched into staging, and it put him a little deeper into the beams than he would have expected to be, and I don't know if that made him hesitate on releasing the clutch. Neither had a great light, but it really affected his 60-foot. He was a tenth slower than you would expect to see in 60-foot. A good 60-foot for one of these cars would be somewhere in the 970 range. That'd be just sub 1 second. Neither one of those was sub 1 second.
David Quadra and the Black Machine and the 6-time champ, the reigning champion, Erica Enders.
When I talk about 60-foots, Ralph, pro stock cars live and die by the first 3 feet of the racetrack, but the first timing incremental you're going to see on a time slip is 60-foot. It's how they launch these cars. And it's not how quick you run, it's how quick you run relative to conditions. The racetrack's getting some heat in it, but this is probably the best we'll see it all day. If you want to win, you're going to, with few exceptions, the car in the other lane has problems. You're probably going to have a 60-foot, somewhere around 990, because unless the car misses a gear or you have a mechanical malfunction, the launch pretty much dictates what the cars are going to run. With the engine leasing programs out here, with the level of horsepower builders, 1450 is kind of the standard horsepower number for these engines, and everybody's within about 20-25 horsepower. It makes sense to watch the time slips early and see what the cars do early in the run. It's how they manage that horsepower.
Most of the pro stock teams have tested over the years here at Bradenton. It's a good early winter test facility for them. David Quadra's tested here in a pro mod car, but has never run a pro stock car here until this weekend. He's driving the car his father used to race as we get ready to go.
Yeah, and not an easy first round draw.
Erica, quicker off the line with a .038, and at the far end she's going to be faster too as she gets a 6.562 at 209.590 miles an hour. Takes the win by .04.
And neither one of those drivers had a sub 1 second 60-foot. So I wonder if there is just not enough starting line out there to throw a high RPM launch and throw a heavy gear ratio at it. We'll watch as the rest of the session unfolds, but 656 was a good ET. 659 losing was respectable.
The next pair up is going to be Jeg Coughlin Jr. and Jerry Tucker. And if you're watching your first session with us and you haven't really been staying up to speed with the Friends of Drag Illustrated about what's going on with new colors and drivers and stuff, you might not recognize Jeg.
It's not yellow and black.
No, and it doesn't say Jegs down the side of the car, does it?
Skag has really stepped into the sport in a big way. They got the 5-time world champ out there, and they convinced him that orange is a pretty cool color too.
It sure looks fast, I'll tell you that. He's been quick all week, and there is Jeg.
We're going to get a track temperature coming to you guys pretty soon. It's not the cloud cover we experienced Thursday and yesterday, and what that means is that sunlight is going to heat the track up quicker. Heat on the racetrack takes away traction on the racetrack. All the crew chiefs are going to have to back everything down a little bit, or they're going to have problems with wheel spin.
And the Outlaw mile-high light beer backed entry of Jerry Tucker, closest to us in the tower, right side of your screen, left lane.
And Tucker's been running great this
Yes, he has.
He actually has lane choice over the 5-time champion.
Here we go. Ooh, look at how close they were off the line. Jag by a 100th. And at the line, Coughlin gets him with a 6.579, 209.92 miles an hour.
So Tucker had a 26 reaction time, 26 thou from a perfect light, and he left second. Jeggy with the 16 light, that's just typical Jeggy fashion, follows it up with a 657, and neither of those drivers had a sub 1 second 60-foot. I'm beginning to think that that's all that starting line's going to allow.
Well, that was a best battle we've had off the line. And at the far end, Coughlin just pulled away, taking the win. That's Dave Conley right there.
And if you're newer to pro stock racing, Dave Conley has become a tuner, crew chief extraordinaire. But before that, he was one of the best pro stock drivers for several years, an absolute winning machine. I haven't had a chance to go over. Dave's been busy all weekend, and ask him, are you just back in here for this one-trick pony, one-weekend stint, or do you have any intent on driving more often? Obviously, he hasn't forgot what he's doing there.
He can get back on the horse pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's most valuable as a crew chief simply because there's less great crew chiefs out there than great drivers. But he's racing against the man who ended up qualifying number 2, that KB Motorsports car, Dallas Glenn. Dallas has got lane choice. And look, we've seen the first 2 pairs, one in the left lane, one in the right lane, shook the tires, and then the next couple pairs both went down the racetrack. I don't know if the crew chiefs, after watching some of that tire shake, back down their launch RPM chip. It was a little too late to make a clutch adjustment at that point, but the last 2 pairs, all 4 cars have navigated their way down the drag strip. A lot of it's got to do with who lets off that left pedal first.
Conley's going to have to be on his A game if he wants to trailer Dallas Glenn here. Here we go. This should be a great matchup. Oh, red light for Dallas Glenn. We were thinking it was going to have to be Conley to bring his A game, and Glenn felt the pressure.
How about that? Throws away a 6:55 low ET of the round so far, but credit to Conley, was right there with the 6:57. Conley's car carried the front wheels up there pretty well, and how about that? The first sub 1 second 60-foot time had a 992 in the left lane there on a losing 6:55 effort. So there is some sub 1 second.
More in it than you thought.
Trash. Well, I thought you'd see some high 980s out there, so there wasn't as much as I thought, but obviously, wait for the burnout.
And this pair is going to be Eric Latino against Bo Butner. Butner in the silver machine, Latino in the bright blue.
And back to Dallas Glenn's so far class-leading 60-foot time there. The KB crew figured out the racetrack about so far as good as we've seen anybody else able to. They had the best 60-foot. They had the best ET. They didn't get the win light. At the end of the day, the only number that matters, the only light that matters is that win light down at the finish line, and Dave Conley got that. Pro stock lately has kind of been a battle between KB Motorsports and their engine team and Elite Motorsports and their engine team. Don't leave out Magahe. That man builds as much horsepower as anybody, and has got a winning combination out there. And there's a couple one-offs. Brzezinski, Gross, they do their own engines. Frank Iaconio doing the horsepower for the quadras out there. It's nice to see some diversity of horse. Progress that KB and Elite Motorsports have provided.
Craig Anderson, who heads up everything over there at KB, told me they've got 7 cars going.
I'm certain Greg is triplets because one human being
couldn't handle
possibly
it all. From him
he doesn't get to work on his own car. He's prioritized everybody else's. And the proof in the pudding, they got Dallas Glenn's car dialed in pretty good. Greg's car's been struggling this weekend.
Here we go. Latino and Butner. Oh, it's Butner quicker off the line, and he shuts it down. So Latino's going through to the next round, and Eric with a 6:58.3, 209.17.
Yeah, and Butner left lane shook the tires.
Let's go to Jamie Howe.
Round of eliminations. We've got Craig over here with the bag full of the chips. Jay, we're going to let you go ahead, live pull your chip. Now, we don't have everybody lined up just yet. We already know that going into the next round, Erica will race Aaron Sanfield. You drew a 4. That means you will go up against Christian Quadra, another team underneath the Elite banner. How do you attack it?
Well, You know, it's hard with 9 cars. It's tough to, to miss one another. But I'm excited. I made a really nice run there first round. We're honestly nervous. The right lane's been giving a lot of the teams trouble, and but we, obviously had to race the lane that we knew we were dealt. And Mark Ingersoll and his crew did a really nice job. The car felt fantastic. I let the clutch out, set down real nice, stayed planted, through the gears nice, and see that win light come on first of 2024 feels nice too.
You got that 16 light though, awesome.
So this is going to be Greg Anderson and Matt Hartford. And we saw Jed Coughlin do his chip draw. It looks like he's going to go against Quad.
A little bit on the chip draw thing. For the fans that didn't follow us for the last 2 nights, it's fun, it's different. We'll explain how it works. So mention that Greg Anderson's been struggling. He does not have lane choice here against Matt Hartford. It was a chip draw, which basically means it's random pairings every single round. But the car that ran quicker in qualifying will get lane choice first round. The car that ran quicker of the 2 that run next round in the first round will get lane choice. So lane choice hasn't changed from a traditional format, but the pairings are basically completely random. Everybody will draw a chip for every round. So
there's Greg sitting in his car, his HendrickCars.com backed entry, ready to go.
If you're counting tire shake, 2 out of the left lane, 1 out of the right lane so far.
And we're away, and it's Hartford quicker off the line, but look at Anderson pulling him. No, now he has problems down the track, and it's going to go to Hartford, 658 with a 2 to 210.280. But boy, Anderson.
Big time red.
Yeah.
Oops. I almost think his foot slipped off the clutch pedal.
Might have.
And you talk about he doesn't have enough. The Greg Anderson, he's a 103-time national winner. And I remember when he won his first championship and he got up on stage, and it wasn't bragging, but he said, as good as our year has been, I think we've got more in it. And he was exactly right. They went out and they had dominated that year. They crushed them the next year. But the difference was he had the resources and the time to focus on that car.
Doesn't have that now.
He's a man spread thin right now.
Very.
The impact he's had on the sport is undeniable. And I know Greg Anderson, he's a little bit ticked off. And he's going to show up with a chip on his shoulder at the Gator Nationals.
Yeah, he's a little frustrated that he hasn't had time to focus on his own stuff. But in order to keep the program going, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, it used to be to keep the program going. This pro stock class the last few years, there was talk that they were going to go to 8-car fields at many of the races, and they went to NHR and said, listen, don't do that to us. We'll guarantee you enough cars show up to put on a stout 16-car field. And to do that, a lot of these teams had to lower their engine leasing rates significantly, and they're kind of subsidizing the class. You're kind of handing your opponent a gun and aiming it at you at some point. That's a tough deal to do, but it's kept the class competitive.
That it has. All right, well, round 1 of Pro Stock has been completed. We're going to come right back to Bradenton after this. Stay with us.
Speed, power, performance, and top-notch results on the turf and on the track. Skag Power Equipment is mowing down the competition. Built by hard-working Americans in state-of-the-art facilities, Skag machines are made to last. Don't get left behind. Visit your local Skag dealer to discover the Skag difference for yourself. Skag, simply the best.
This season, Toyota Racing is looking for jaw droppers.
Break for Martin Truex right there, the fastest lap of the day.
Iron stomachs that can stand the pressure. And quick draw thumbs that leave their own smoke trail. So hold on tight and strap yourself in. This season, we want you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
You're watching a first-of-its-kind shootout featuring the biggest stars in Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, and more. The inaugural Skag Power Equipment Pro Superstar Shootout presented by Johnson's Horsepower Garage.
We're back, the Skag Power Equipment Pro Superstar Shootout presented by Johnson's Horsepower Garage. Getting the day underway here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Bradenton Motorsports Park. So last night we did the chip draw after qualifying was completed. 3 rounds of qualifying yesterday. We got those 3 sessions done, and then we did the chip draw to see who would match up against who here today on Saturday. And here's what it looked like.
The great American motorsport. I mean, the best possible thing that can happen in a NASCAR race is a drag race breakout, right? The best possible thing that can happen at an IndyCar race, a Formula One race, you name it. 2 cars, side by side, headed toward the finish line. We get to do it every weekend. We're beyond blessed, but as a community, we have to be more proud of what we're doing. We will put drag racing at the top of the motorsports mountain.
All 8 drivers are going to come up. They're going to draw chips. There's 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, so on and so forth. They're going to come up. We'll know who's racing who.
Our first eliminator tomorrow will be Pro Stock. Let's give it up for our #1 qualifier, Erica Enders, Dallas, Glenn, and Dave Connolly. Oh, this is going to be a drag race, my friends. It's a little brother-on-brother crime. The quadras are going head-to-head. At least one of you is going to round 2, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, Matt Hartford, Greg Anderson. Let's go. TJ Coughlin and Chris McGahey. Tony Schumacher. There's 8 chips in that bag. There's 1 through 4. Mike Salinas and Leah Pruitt. Oh, Sean Langdon and Clay Milliken. Oh, Justin Ashley against the reigning, defending NHRA Top Fuel champion, his first world championship, a living legend, Doug Coletta. Living legends, Antoine Brown, Tony Schumacher, head-to-head in round 1. Let's give it up for these guys. Thank you all so much.
This event is absolutely changing the game of drag racing. There's something like this that is going to change the world of drag racing. You guys being here made that happen.
Alexis DeJoria and Austin Prock, head-to-head tomorrow. John Force and Cruz Pedregon. Somebody get some boxing gloves. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. John Force, Cruz Pedregon going head-to-head in the first round.
All right, Ralph, so what you saw is last night, after all 4 sessions of qualifying, 1 Thursday, 3 on Friday, the drivers drew chips, got paired up for first round. The winning driver of each round today, as they turn off the racetrack, Jamie is going to have them draw a chip. As soon as the corresponding chip is drawn by their next opponent, we're going to pair them up. We'll let you guys know. Every round will be random chip paired. Keeps it exciting.
Till the final, of course.
Well, obviously when we get down to 2, we know, right?
Right, exactly. All right, so the Sportsman cars are going. Tom Kane, Troy Huntsberry here. And it looks like in that pair, it's going to be Huntsberry's going to turn on the win light. And we're going to go ahead and send it over to a pair of winners as well. Al Tucci and Steve Logan, who are buddies calling all the Sportsman action here today at Bradenton. Take it away, guys.
Real good looking Fords. How about the old Cobra snake sitting down here? Michael Brand II, Alpharetta, Georgia. 13 model Cobra Jet. I love that old Ford. I mean, I say it a million times. I've been born and raised a Chevy guy, but that old Ford in that far lane is beautiful, man.
Big wheel stands that carries him out there. It's really fast, but this time he's got to get it spotted.
He's going to hear him coming. Robert Pond. Michael Brand II trying to dry the pond up, does he? He does. 871, 141 miles per hour. Let's see what, well, Pond just couldn't run the number. He's 984 on a 977 performance prediction at 129 miles per hour. That'll get you every time.
Well, they got the hatch up down there, letting some of the smoke outside of that during the burnout. That's
for the
pretty
price
cool.
of that car, that guy comes from the factory with it. Anyway, so he'll be over there right there. Taylor Bohannon down there in the right side, Louisville, Kentucky. Who do you have in the left lane?
Monty Bogan Jr. out of Bowling Springs, South Carolina, 1077 to dial on that beautiful 67 Camaro. Slight advantage, left-hand lane. He controls it. Going to fight that Corvette off at the finish line.
Going to be a close one down here at 1,000 foot. They are right there, glued together. But the win light's going to go to Bogan Jr. Monty goes 10.79 on a 77. What went wrong with the vet? Well, we'll talk a little bit about a reaction time. Got a touch of too much there for Bohannon, and 10.56 on a 55. Didn't get the job done. Another Chevrolet Corvette's going to get a shot at it. Jeff Longhaney out of Wade, North Carolina in the left lane, but we're going to send a scooter down there, Super Scooter Steve. He's going to go check something out. I guess report is there may have been a little something, so he wants to check it out. Safety first. Remember, safety users are never losers.
Freeze plug. You found a freeze plug down here on the bottom end, and they want to make sure we got no fluids. You would think you would with no freeze plug that made a pass, so we're going to check it out. Make sure the track is safe and A-OK before we unleash these Chevrolets after each other.
All right, Steve. Well, as soon as that guy in that scooter says it's A-OK and he turns around and heads back here, we're going to get right back into more stock action. What do you got there? You see any good things coming up here this afternoon besides a great class of fuel, the Fuel Funny car?
Well, tonight, after the winners are named and determined in all categories, we got a trophy presentation and a free concert by the Vindies. The Vindies are a phenomenal band out of Ohio. Make sure you stick around. Don't go anywhere. You're gonna like this band tonight. Really great band. Made it their way all the way down from Ohio, and you're gonna love them.
The band last night was phenomenal. I mean, they rocked the place.
That band was good.
They were rocking the place down there in the back, doing a wonderful job.
All right, moving first right here, Jeff Longhaney, left-hand side, 1036 out of Wade, North Carolina. That's a cool-looking vet. That actually looks like a small tire car.
Oh, look at that thing. You're right, it does. It leaves like some of them, too. Longhaney down there, and look at that 002 reaction time. He better get a win out of that. Oh, look at this.
Jay Story missed the treat by just a little bit, but the car does the work right there on the big end.
And he's off by about 0.2 of a second, being Longhaney. Went 002, threw it away. Here comes Bo's gal, Randy Lynn Butner, coming up here out of Dottie Butner Auto Sales. That Pontiac in the left side, Tower side. She's going to say 1066. That's what I want to run. So Randy shipping all of them down there. She came in number 15 in qualifying. She's got the duel to go on right here.
Yeah, Douglas duel. This is a classic matchup right here. Both of these are really good drivers and been doing the stock racing for a little while. At 1036 on the right-hand side for the Mopar.
Wow, good lead for both automobiles. Right there's a lead. Randy Lynn Butner looks to have a little bit extra here. We'll see what happens on the top end. 66. Oh, she goes too quick.
Wow.
2.5 too quick. She goes 63.5. How about duel?
Duel goes under as well. A double breakout. Both drivers did not want to lift, and they take it out the back door. Duel closest to that original dial in, and he gets the win light and goes into round number 3.
Leonard Mattingly not making a call. Broken by run right here. Greg Lubin will get the single pass down here. He says, I like to go 1068. We'll see if he can do so. Just to put the fear of doubt to everybody. He's going that he's going to race next. Oh, 1069.9. Yeah. Not bad, 121 miles per hour.
All right, that ends our stock eliminator category for round number 2. Coming up, what do we got, Al? FTI.
Oh, we got the FTI Performance, Paul Lee's Corporation, bringing you the sponsorship of Top Sportsman. Probably, not afraid to say it, and I know Gavin over there sees some good Top Sportsman racing, but this is probably some of the fastest Top Sportsman cars I've ever seen in mile-per-hour levels.
Oh, man, it's crazy fast running that quarter-mile times there. It's 230 miles.
Speed, power, performance, and top-notch results on the turf and on the track. Skag Power Equipment is mowing down the competition. Built by hard-working Americans in state-of-the-art facilities, Skag machines are made to last. Don't get left behind. Visit your local Skag dealer to discover the Skag difference for yourself. Skag, simply the best.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen. One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Look at these two right here. This could be the finals at any event, anywhere in the country. Two headhunters, heavy hitters. OMG. Jackie Bennett over there on the right side. He was your #1 qualifier. Look at the dial in down there, 6'10". He qualified with a 16 at 217. He's got the XRE, the Hemi underneath that thing, the Pro Charge. Carl Stevens power plant underneath the hood, facing on umpteen world championship. Sandy Wilkins left side, 1969.
You're all right. You're all right, Tina. It's okay as long as what's his name doesn't come here and smack you around.
What a great matchup this is right here. Two heavy hitters. Look at it, 648 and 610. How about you dial 648 and you get the handicap start?
How about you got the FTI sticker on there and you're representing him and you're the #1 qualifier out of, is that Palatka, Florida? Palatka? Yeah, sounds good.
Florida, it's out of Florida, that's what I say.
There we go, ready to see it happen. Oh, it's done, it's over. You see that lead by Wilkins?
50 on a 48, gets the win light left-hand side. Sandy Wilkins, he's tough action there. Jackie had a good light to battle. Just didn't run the number, ran off at a 22.
Oh yeah, Mr. 230 coming up here in the right side. Darren Bush out of Kenner, Louisiana. How about it, man? Who's over there selling cars in Louisiana? Where's that kid of mine? Anyway, the 2018 Haas Chevrolet Camaro.
Hey, we got to take a break right here. Jackie goes long, goes into the sand down there. We're told we got to go check him out down on the big end.
Hopefully everything's okay. We've had a couple down there in that sand. Had like 13 pineapples damaged, but everything else is kosher and it's going good. No, everybody got out of the car. Hopefully he's fine. Driver's good. There we go. That's the word we like to hear. He's out of it. Thank you to the fans. Look at him applaud. Those are good people right there. I seen that. Awesome, awesome deal. He's all right. And, you know, I like to thank the farmer down there. And I say this just because I really do mean it. The windrows used to run east and west. He made them run north and south, so if anybody had trouble, they didn't go to a motocross track.
That's a good neighbor right there, right?
It is. That's someone that, you know, yeah, you're right. You got this big drag strip going on.
Yeah.
And you're a good farmer, and you do good things for good people. So thank you.
Tied the cows up to a couple of trees down there to get them out of the way. There you go. So the car's upright down there in the sand. That's a great thing as well.
All right, so with that, we're going to pull them out of the field. But if you got time and you're down there in the beautiful Rayville, Louisiana area, don't forget to go down there and see all the fine people at Jim Taylor's Chevrolet in Rayville, Louisiana. Go see Colton Jordan, get a new car, get a new truck, get a new friend. Good kid down there. Sell them on Saturday. Take a break on Sunday there, Colton. right, so 77 degrees out, and the farmer has helped push the car out of the field down there. We're going to push these guys back and give them the opportunity to either go or wait, right?
Yeah, he got the old tractor out down there and
yeah, you see it?
Yeah, that's cool. Or maybe he's got
that's not a tractor. It's 2 Clydesdales and a pitching wedge or whatever.
An Amish farm back there, huh?
Yeah.
Guys, can I get up close? Okay. Turn back this way a little bit. Hey, you guys that were watching, Mikey, was he going over 60 when he came in? Yeah. Can I get up close? Picture of him. This held it really good. Yes. He did a good job scrubbing all his speed, but he went sideways and scrubbed and then speed back. Let's say in his first rodeo.
All right, guys, let's get the trucks and start getting everything out of here.
Did you win? People out here first. No.
Everyone gonna take the bar to the door. So that's right, leave right there. Hey, we come back.
I gotta give my friend Joe knows her, Joanne, Lake Villa. Only policeman that pulled me over for not doing anything wrong.
Go ahead. It's going to dig in, but it ain't going to dig in, but it's soft sand. It's soft. It's fine. At least my parts didn't come off. You okay? That's good. All right, Rob. Ain't nothing hurt but back. Right. Somebody put one strap on the front just so it doesn't go back. I got it, Mark. It ain't going nowhere. No, it's not going nowhere? All right, we're good. I got it, Mark.
right, we backed you up. The two that were in the water box are just done their burn. Now we're going to back them up, let them cool off a little bit, and go forward right here for the next pair. Moving first right here is going to be Brandon Miller in the pickup truck on the right-hand side out of Canterbury, Connecticut. 744 cubic inches of nitrous power on the right-hand side. 691 is the dial. That's crazy at like 200 miles an hour. Mark Miles, left side, 678. Beautiful Cobalt out of Georgia, 655 cubic inches.
Here we go. It is going to be FTI Performance. Top Sportsman back on the line. Let's see the performance predictions. 678, 691.
Oh, 005, left-hand side, out in front by just a little bit is Miles. Wind light goes back the other way out.
692 on a 91. Well, he went 692.9, almost 693. 691 was the performance prediction. 82.1 on a 78 for Miles, but Brandon Miller taking a win, and here we go.
Here's your guy.
Oh, and look who he picks out, the first pair. Mark Payne over here in the left lane. Waynesboro, Virginia, the 05 Cavalier, 400 cubic inches. The House of Payne Performance, FTI Performance, Mickey Thompson Tires, Holly FI, Jack Competition, and Competitive Suspension, Rogers Automotive. That guy's got a bunch of help, don't he? You got it in this day and age, right?
Yeah, he's done the legwork right there. Of course, Mark Payne has. It's a no-brainer though to be a part of him. He is very strong out of the Virginia area, Waynesboro, up there around. I think that's around Christiansburg as well. Your guys in the right-hand lane. Who we got?
Gotta like it, Lance Abbott. And I know that kid selling cars would tell you, yeah, your guy. This guy is really good at his job. So Lance Abbott out of Midland, Texas. Colton Jordan, that's who I'm talking about. You know this little truck. Remember who was the comedian? Send me that text. Anyway, so that number 23 qualified. 705, 706, 704. He's run them all. Now he's got to run down there and get himself to that stripe. We'll find out if he can do it. 656, a long wait, half a second, right? Waiting on him.
That's absolutely.
That's like, I mean, it sounds like, you know, 5/10, but it feels like forever when you're sitting there. Keep your eye on him. Abbott's in. Payne's coming in now, ever so gently. He's in. Lights are coming down. Oh, look at Payne. Put the work on him. Payne may, and he does, takes him out in the first round. He goes 009 to an 020. So Mark Payne out of Virginia takes out Lance Abbott's Texas-based weekend.
Mark Payne with a 15-thou package. You get wins all day long right there. Tough loss. Abbott could not get out of the throttle as he was behind and goes under 06 on an 09.
Unreal. I told you how good he used to be, right?
Hey, how about this Corvette right here?
Oh, that's going to be John Benoit.
Guess who designed that paint scheme? The former Canadian.
Yeah, the former Canadian.
What a beautiful Corvette. John Benoit right here, left side, out of Vermont, 2015 Corvette, 768 cubic inches.
That's who designed it, Greg Zupko.
Yeah,
out of VA Inc.
That's a beautiful car, isn't it? Look at that thing.
Designer and graphic design. This guy can do a lot, Greg. Ozupko. He's out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. You're looking to get t-shirts made. Remember that, VA Inc. Here we go.
Mark Buehring. Mark Buehring, right side, 07 Cobalt, 762 cubic inches over there, 670 to dial.
Oh, man. John goes red on the starting line. The better qualified car goes 031 red, 653.7. 672 for Burling. He'll go on to another round of action here from the right side of the racetrack. Here we go. Right trailers, little Dodge Dakota, 99 model year of John Taylor. Etowah, Tennessee. All right, that's enough. Put on your buffalo skin and go to town.
Wow.
Here comes the next lane.
Jimmy Lewis over the left side out of Forney, Texas, 560 cubic inches, 08 GXP. Look at that thing. What a beautiful car. I tell you what, Al, when he went to order a cow hood, he won't mess it around. He said, give me the biggest you got. All right, big spot coming right here to the pickup truck on the right side. Lewis got to watch that truck get small in his windshield before he gets off that button.
Forney, Texas. That's where Lewis calls home. Let's see if he can drive that thing back to the pits with a victory. Going to be tough. They're both good. Oh, that truck's going quick. Better look in the rearview mirror. What'd I tell you? It's almost like a calculation in your mind. 769.8. He goes almost a 10th too quick. 64.0 on a 63.1.
He was beat on a tree, but took too much down there at the stripe, and Lewis gets by him there at 34 and goes into the next round. Who we got out?
We got more Wright Trailer sponsored Michael Scott coming up here out of Lakeland, Florida. He'll be in the left lane. Backing up there, good-looking 63 split-window Corvette. The right side, Alan Firestone. Velma, Oklahoma. Down there, the AFR machine. Elite on the side of it, Jags on the side of it. What else? Patterson, is it Motor Builders? Is that who you're?
Yeah, another Patterson Elite Engine Builders, a big cubic inch this time. Been building those small ones, or has been known for those small block super stock cars. But here we are at a big cubic inch top Sportsman, 754 cubic inches of nitrous guzzling power over there in the right lane.
Final call, super stock to the lanes. Final call, super stock eliminator to the lanes, please. Final call, super stock. I wish I was here alone, though, man. There we go, the Chevrolet Corvette. Look at that elite car going after that track here at Bradenton Motorsports Park. Watch the wind light. There it is, 644 and a 43, 214 and a mile per hour. That guy's been tough all week.
Well, it's almost 40 miles an hour past that car. That's a lot of mile an hour on the big end to judge here.
They ran on with a 7 in the left lane, the Corvette. 759 with a 7, a whole shot. 013 got the better half of that. Here comes the Jerry Haas built Chevrolet top Sportsman car that's gone 230 here this weekend.
Speaking of great paint jobs, look at that one over there, right side of
Yeah, those scallops, man. I don't know if it's paint or wrap.
I can't tell. I can't tell anymore, but it's a beautiful car.
Someone had to design it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the scallops all over the side. The way it's almost like when you look at the door, it's almost like looking at the weather station when a hurricane's coming in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You see the eye of it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to show you the eye right there. Watch this, 626.
At 230, right? Chris Arnold, left side, 738 cubic inches. And that little Cavalier out of Texas, 677 is the number.
All right, so with that, they're going to bring up Bosch right there. Chris Arnold and company. Ready to make it happen, man. I'm telling you what, Bosch, #2 qualifier in this incredible FTI performance.
Top Sportsman category.
Top Sportsman category, there it is.
Arnold's going to be out in front by a little bit right here in handicap start. Not going to be able to look over in his side view or his peripheral, but he's going to hear Darian over there coming up on him.
5.5 tenths right here. Watch this in a tree. Look at this. Look at the charge, man. 230. Wow, what a charge. 229.31 and a victory at 6.26 seconds. Runs the number with a 4.
How do you go dead four with a supercharger at 230 miles an hour?
Man, I tell you what, horseshoes or hand grenades, you take the pick. Old Bob here's had the buy run twice already.
Yeah, what you know, it's a good day for you. You know, they say to win one of these things, you got to have a little luck. He's just had two times right now.
You go, Bob. Bob Galletti right there. One of the greats right here in Top Sportsman. I've seen that thing run in the 3-second range before, so it's a bad to the bone Shelby, man. NTG, the sponsor on the side of that thing, as he rolls it up. Nitrous oxide being purged. Bob Galletti, I love this stuff.
Where's he from? Yeah.
Bob Galetti's from Tumble, Texas, where the weeds go across the street.
What a beautiful Shelby. 1967 body style Shelby. Love that thing.
All right, here we go. He's all by himself down there. Been in the right lane twice with 1 deserved by run. On this one, he gets a deserved by run. Down there, Bob shuts her down at 6:33.7, 221 miles per hour.
001 on the tree right there. That's great practice and sets him up for the next round. He'll put some in the box, I'm sure.
That leads us right into Super Stock Eliminator. We'll get ready to roll here in the All right, with that, it's round number 2 of elimination. Super Stock Eliminator, 971 on the Warner machine. Here in the left lane, Tower side. They said, we'll go 971. Got the Super Stock IA automatic, and in the right side, that little cute car, man. That car's good looking. 08 Chevrolet, little red baby down there of Tom Kane out of Lewisburg, Kansas. See how he does.
Pair of small blocks right here, 324. 324 cubic inches in the right side. 350 left lane. Here comes the wheelies. Big advantage right here for Warner in the left-hand lane. He controls it at the stripe. It's going to be the other way, though. 75 dead one for Tom Kane. 77 on a 71 for Warner. Takes a little bit too much down there at the stripes. Give it back to Tom Kane. Look at this next pair. They are beautiful. Moving first is going to be Tom Cotton in that 71 Plymouth Cuda, 383 cubic inches. Out of Cave Creek, Arizona. 980 is the number on that beautiful car. Tom Schmidt, 87 Trans Am on the right side, 886. He's out of Lakeland, Florida.
Gotta love it, man. Even the Action 7 News flying the helicopter above us, seeing all the fans down here. Enjoying life, man. Here we go. Look at a Cotton Dodge. How about that Mike Cotton, man? He gets out there and says, let's get it on. Tom Schmidt goes down the line, pulls out a bit better on the tree, but goes too quick. 85, goes 6 too quick, 6,000ths of a second, 85.4, 980, put a 5 on the end of it. He's right at his number, Mike Cotton at 71 Plymouth.
Cotton did 5 right there and into the next round, bringing up the next pair.
The Candy Man coming up here. Here's the Candies, Brett Candies, DeBall, Louisiana, I believe.
That Candies family is wearing out that spot back there celebrating. Let's see if they can do it again.
And they got that left lane every time they've been up there. Let's see if they can get another victory here. Here's Huntsberry. He's tough. He does a huge wheel stand, but he knows how to run the number.
He's moving first, so we'll see him go up in the air first. And that 87 Camaro dials it in at 973.
0.4 of a second handicap right here. Oh, and he goes red. The Candies, man, doing it again. The Candy family. Look at them, how happy they are. Candies goes down. 9:34.1. They run a little too quick, but it don't matter. First or worse, They are moving on for another round of action, 143 miles per hour. How about the next two to the line, the M&M Express?
I think there's Candy's family. Every time they stand in that spot, it's routine now. The other side goes red, it seems like.
Good stuff. Don't ruin their mojo.
98 Avenger, left-hand side. 360 cubic inches out of Holmes Beach, Florida. Who we got on the right side?
Well, you got Nowicki over here in the left lane. Atkinson. Jeff over there out of Damascus, Georgia, will be in the 2015 Chevrolet Camaro. 427 cubic inch, small block. Here we go. Well, a red light start right there for Mark Nowicki. Listen to this red light. It might as well be a pink light start. 0-2 on the tree. 0-2 on the tree. What a light, man. That's the one that hurts worse. I mean, it's not like you went red because you wanted to go red. That thing was looking at the green side, but just bing, too much.
Yeah, you think you hit it, and then all of a sudden that red light pops on.
I love Doug Ingles' car, man. This car is awesome. Ingles over here, Watertown, South Dakota, 67 Chevy 2. 350 cubic inch small block there. Look at him steering that wheel, getting it ready, getting it lined up. And the right side, who do we have? Marion Stevenson out of Williamsport, Indiana.
2006 Cobalt, 350 pair, 350 cubic inch cars. Slight advantage left side to the Chevy 2.
Like to see him get that big W with that kind of a run. Oh, and he goes too quick by 5 thousandths of a second. 10:17.5 on a 10:18 performance prediction. How about Stevenson? 9:54 goes 9:64, 10 slower. Didn't much matter. All you had to do is touch the brakes. Just
Stevenson just gets on it, throws that anchor out there and slows that thing up and gets the win. Next pair are going to be pretty close as far as dial-ins and performance. Russell Kent, left side, 984 out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Another big wheel-standing car, 94 Camaro, 350 cubic inches.
Gotta like it. There's Gent. Russell Gent. Mooresville, North Carolina. He's in the left lane. There's the wheels in the air. Right side's Trumbull. Red light goes to the left lane. Colts. Company down there goes 0-18 on the red side of the green. They go 9:58.1, but it don't matter. First or worse, they get the win down there. All right, so here's Kevin Helms and Doug Duell. Doug over there in the big yellow beast. Doug Duell smokes the tires in the big drag pack 2015 model year. Duell smokes it. He'll be taking it back to the pits.
That's highly unusual right there.
Oh, it is. It was bizarre because it was weird, like the car didn't even really lift hard and it just smoked.
I don't know that I've seen that for a super stock car to do that, but there it is. First for everything, Kevin Helms advances to the next round. Here's an interesting combo coming up right now. Moving first is going to be the right side, Matt Dattis, the Mustang, 2012 Ford Mustang out of Clarksville, Indiana.
Ford versus Chevrolet, right up your alley right here. Ryan Munford, Wichita, Kansas, right here in the Patterson Elite sponsored Chevrolet. Got that color that always takes. There's that Patterson power, man. Look at that 007 red Munford's done. Dennis down here making a charge. 9:53.8 at 137. Good job for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to put out a big shout out to Big Jeff Audio and Big Jeff here this weekend. Big Jeff Audio down there, he's been throwing out shirts. He's got the big golf cart. You go, Jeff. There he is, boombox, baby. Got enough power in the back of that golf cart to make us all get up and dance. So big thank you to Big Jeff Audio and Big Jeff. He's coming up here. Probably throw out some free stuff.
Speed, power, performance, and top-notch results on the turf and on the track. Skag Power Equipment is mowing down the competition. Built by hard-working Americans in state-of-the-art facilities, Skag machines are made to last. Don't get left behind. Visit your local Skag dealer to discover the Skag difference for yourself. Skag, simply the best.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
And not just the cars. He takes animals like bucks. Oh, just really, really professional. The limo guy and Dave Hillner. What a group, man. Real pro stock right there. Go to their website. You got to see the stuff these guys do. Great stuff. A man who stands behind pro stock religiously, especially Mountain Motor Pro Stock. And David Hillner, who takes some phenomenal pictures. And I would say it over and over again, 100 times. I'm rocking out, man. I'm going back to high school. Woo! Awesome, awesome time right here at Bradenton Motorsports Park. People are dancing, people are smiling. This guy's a party animal right there. Look at him getting the guitar. Nothing like some good old stuff, right? AC/DC, Van Halen.
Oh, he was ripping up that air guitar.